Welcome back to this episode of Bitch is a Bad Word. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm one mom with 4 kids and 0 fancy letters behind my name. I bring on all of the experts to help us unpack all the trauma, all the domestic abuse and toxic relationships as we travel down this road through and to healing together. Today, I sit down with Olivia Howell. She is the visionary founder behind the Divorce Registry, a platform rewriting what it means to start over. After navigating her own divorce, Olivia realized that there was no space for women to rebuild their lives with dignity, support, or a fresh Amazon cart. And fresh seats, by the way. So she built one, from creating the first ever registry for divorcees to helping women reimagine independence. Olivia is redefining the narrative of what comes after heartbreak. She dives into the messy, beautiful, and liberating side of starting again. From co-parenting and healing to reclaiming your home, your identity, and your power. So let's get into it. Olivia Howell, welcome to Bitch is a Bad Word.
I am so excited to be here, Lindsay.
I love your content. I have to start by saying that because it is so well done, inspirational, but I just love the way that you're able to really just get the message with just so creatively. I think you're absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love it so much.
That means the world to me. Thank you. It's been an interesting journey with creating this content because I've been writing forever, and I've been writing like this forever, but I haven't shared a lot of it. And so I started sharing it more and more, and people were like, wow, this is like exactly what I need to be reading right now. So I appreciate that very much.
It really is. You have you do write like a writer, so that makes a lot of sense. And then there's just things I always find inspiration, and then I'm reading it like, oh, wait, this makes total sense. Like you just have such a great way of just breaking it down. And that's what I love on, having people on the show so we can really bring like a bestie through the experience of this is the hardest thing in your life that's happening.
Yes. It's so funny you say that, Lindsay, because I was just sitting here thinking about how I would love to design some more. We have like merch and stuff, but I would love to design some more things that are like, Gucci bags that say divorced, right? Like I want like real divorced merch because it is the hardest thing that most people will ever go through. And unless you go through it, you don't understand what we're talking about when we say that. Because I think people still think, well, there's other things that are, there are other things that are hard. But divorce I went through a lot of emotional abuse and psychological abuse and all of those fun abuses. It almost killed me, right? And so I was just thinking, I'm like, there should be some sort of badge that we can wear in the world. That's like, yes, I survived divorce.
That I'll help you make it because I love merch. I guess I should have been wearing. I wore my bestie stuff today, but like I wear it around town this badge of honor. I'm sure maybe you've seen it, but I'm showing her my MILF hat, and I'm like joining and creating what I call the MILF Mafia because these women, it's like Mothers in Litigation Forever is real. Divorce is in its best form, if you can even say that in a sentence, is hard as shit. Yes. And then you throw emotional abuse, financial abuse, all the abuse in the mix, and it tries to kill you.
Yeah, I have so much to say about that. But yes, I love your hat. I love your bestie hat too. But yeah, we don't talk about that. Like, especially if you have children, you really are kind of like held in this holding cell, right? Until they're 18. Yeah. And then even after, right? Like my parents are divorced. It's not like they don't see each other and they're dealing with things, right? So I'm 40, so right. It's like you never stop.
Shit, don't spoil it for the rest of us. It's like I wait for that 18. I'm like, please.
I will say my parents get along great now, and they're they grandparent lovely together. But it took them years. Like it took them many years to get there. Yeah.
But it's true. Like you're in this, and like divorce doesn't just like clean shit up. It's not like you cut the tie, you have kids, you have to co-parent, you have to parallel parent, you have to see them, you have to, whatever. And depending on the complexity of your situation, the divorce is either hard or harder? I don't know that. Like, show me one other than Gwyneth Paltrow, and I'm even sure that wasn't easy.
No, of course not. Yes. No, absolutely, Lindsay. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I love this movement. I love your divorce registry. Like, I love the idea behind it. So can you just like walk us through what inspired you to start this?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in marketing, and actually I was a teacher before that. So when you said like I break things down, I think that it comes from like my educational background. I was a middle school teacher, so I had to break things down.
Yikes.
And I taught a foreign language, so I had to really learn to break things down. So I think I do that with emotional abuse too. My background's in marketing and PR, and I still have a marketing agency, which I was running from home and raising my kids. I had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and my marriage ended, which we can talk about. And then my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, she came over. We cohabitated for 3 months while he was looking for a new place to live, which is really common. I always like to remind people. He moved out in August of 2019. My sister came over. We like deep cleaned the house. We put up the security system. We did the whole thing. And what was left was like really haunting. That's the best way to explain it. Like, it was only things from my wedding registry. And he had a music studio in the house, which was empty. There was like things ripped from the walls, right? It was like really haunting. And so I had this aha moment, which was like, why is there not a registry for this? Like, this is what I need. And I had a little bit of experience in the registry world. One of my marketing clients was a baby registry company, and it was the first customized baby registry company. So I had a little bit of fun kind of working with some celebrities and influencers on, making their registries for babies and stuff. And I thought, well, but this is a time of support too. Like, I need new sheets. I, for fuck's sake, don't want to sleep on the same sheets that I like conceived my son on. Like, I really don't. And so I looked it up. I Googled it, and there was nothing out there. The only things that came up were articles that said, like, we need a divorce registry. Why is there not a divorce registry? So the other side of this story is that my sister had gotten engaged to her longtime partner 2 weeks before my marriage ended. So we were living like these like opposite parallel journeys, and we're incredibly close. And we've always worked together and wanted to work together. I was begging her for years to come work with me at my marketing agency because she's incredible. And this was the end of 2019. They had scheduled a big wedding. We're in New York, and it was at this big place here in New York, and it was supposed to be May of 2020. So I'm sure everybody can guess what happens. Yeah. So I threw her a bridal shower. It was the last time most people saw each other in March of 2020. And so they ended up having to shift the wedding to September or something like that. And they shifted it so many times that he decided he didn't want to marry her. So it ended up a blessing. So my sister ended up having the opposite experience that I had. I stayed in the marital residence with my kids. She did not have children. She left her apartment with nothing. And so she ended up moving back to Long Island, where we are. And she moved into this new little apartment that she got for herself. And my phone rings, and she's like, "Remember that idea you had for the divorce registry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so we literally sat down at her new kitchen table, and we built it in August of 2021. And we were on the Today Show by February because people were so baffled by this idea that we would like, shift this narrative of divorce.
Oh my God, I love that so much. It's so important because, I mean, obviously you want to support people that are getting you're getting married and getting the gifts and the babies and everything. But 1,000,000%, when you divorce, you are losing either everything or half of everything.
Yes.
And the shit that you have, you don't want anyway. Like the reality too, because like women who leave DV, if they're leaving in a hurry, like I left my entire life that I had built, and the house that I spent freaking so much time curating and like little trinkets and all this shit that I thought meant everything to me. I wanted back so badly when I first left. And it was just like, but the more like he wouldn't give it to me, like the more I wanted it, the more I wouldn't get it. Right. But then like the more I realized, like when I finally got the stuff, I was like, all this stuff is holding so much bad energy and bad emotion. Like I don't actually want anything. And I think like everything was a reminder. And then in my situation, I had to restart and I was broke as fuck. I'm like, how am I going to buy anything? And, you know, it's like amazing to be able to say, like people want to help, but no one knows where to start.
That's it. That's the whole thing, Lindsay. That's where it begins, right? It's like people are like, what can I get you? Or I mean, I don't even drink. I would rather eat than drink. And so for me, it's like people were giving me bottles of wine and I was like, I don't want bottles of wine. Like, you know, and we did donate a lot of my things. I donated to another mom in the area, another single mom that was her fresh start, right? From my things that were, I didn't want these things anymore. They were so emotionally charged to me. And so I went to Target, I got myself new things, but I kind of just had this idea, like, it's not about the stuff, right? We call them support items. We don't call them gifts because you truly need to get support when you rebuild your life. The registry is about reclaiming joy, right? It's about saying like, I deserve to have pink sheets because I never was allowed to have them before. And, you know, my little boy wants a purple towel and we weren't allowed to have that or whatever it is. And I think, like you said, people don't realize that women especially have to downsize a lot after divorce and move, and they don't have money. They don't have money. Like, full stop. Yeah. But they don't have money for like cereal bowls. Their kids are eating out of paper bowls with plastic spoons or, you know, whatever it is. And if you're going to support somebody anyway, get them the $12 shower curtain that they need, right? Like, so it's just a way of putting everything together that you can say, here's how to support me when I'm going through this really hard time. And the idea of a registry, right, for babies, it's to celebrate a new person. For marriages, it's to celebrate a new union. This is to celebrate a new beginning. And it's time to start looking at divorce like that instead of like the failure that society has decided it is.
Please go check out our Patreon. It is growing. There is a badass community handing over there. Patreon.com/bitch is a bad word. There's free tiers, there's paid for tiers. The paid for tiers give you ad-free listening, merch drops, merch discounts. We have a private Discord server where every single member is vetted. We personally look at their license so you can build your bestie gang, rebuild your network, rebuild your net worth over there on Patreon. Patreon.com/bitch is a bad word. Someone was on Instagram being like, you know, if you had to leave your marriage, like if you that is the biggest step, right? If you like saying, I'm done with this, I deserve better. Like, I'm going to call major bullshit on anyone who's like, we just grew apart. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's like, but something wasn't working because like nobody wants to do it.
Well, happy marriages don't end in divorce. We always say, right? Yeah.
No. So I'm like, just like, let's call it what it is. Like, instead of trying to sugarcoat it, like I took over my damn life. I'm taking my life back. I'm stepping in my power. I had no autonomy. I couldn't pick the pink sheets or the purple towel.
Yeah.
And now I fucking can. So celebrate that. I love this so much.
Oh, thanks, Lindsay. Well, I mean, you know, because you've done a lot of writing and talking about feminist theory as well, that the patriarchy doesn't want us to be celebrated and happy and joyful. And there's nothing scarier to men and the patriarchy than a happy single woman, especially if she has children, right? Single moms are really, really shunned in our society still. Sorry, but they are. And a lot of that is because it basically debunks the idea that you need like a traditional family unit. And so, you know, we've gotten a lot of negative feedback from the divorce registry idea because people, well, a lot of people feel like they weren't supported, right, during whatever, but also they feel like divorce is still so stigmatized that it's a failure. We shouldn't be celebrating your failures, right? Why would you celebrate a divorce? And they're not looking at it from the perspective of community care, which is where we come at it from.
Oh, I love that so much. I love the idea. Obviously, like I mean, shit, I have an entire platform dedicated to empowering women. So I'm all for this. And I do really believe that there's so, like when you speak to a woman who has gone through emotional abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, anything, and then they're divorced, and I have yet to have a bestie on Bitch Sesh that says like, I am so upset my divorce ended. Like my marriage ended. I'm so upset that I'm divorced. No one's saying that. They're like, I am so incredibly grateful. I'm alive and I'm like living in my own space, in my own environment without walking on eggshells. And so like, hell, fuck yeah. Why are we not saying like, good on you. Let's support you. And women, especially like single, you were already a single mom, most likely in your marriage. So it's not like all of a sudden this woman's like, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
It was so much easier for me being a single, and I'm a solo mom. My ex moved out of state. So for me, it is easier being a single mom, right? It just is. And there's even a deeper level to this too, Lindsay, if you want to really nerd out sociologically for a second, which is that when you surround yourself with the things that, Lindsay got me a mug and my sister got me these towels, and you're walking around your new apartment and you're seeing these things and the lights coming through the window, you start to literally reprogram your brain. You start to tell your brain, I'm safe here. This is my place. I'm loved. Lindsay loves me. She sent me this thing from across the country. My cousin sent me my new dishes. And it's not just about being loved. It's about validating your experience, that you are a human that is worth making this new, fresh start and making these brave decisions. When you can start making these little decisions, like I'm going to get a yellow shower curtain instead of a blue shower curtain, it actually starts to snowball your confidence to make the bigger decisions. So when it comes time for like custody trials and shit like that, you actually have more confidence because you picked out the things on your registry. So I often tell people like divorce registries save lives. And I don't mean that like in a silly way, like they really do, because it's much more about the reclaiming of the life that you have than just about like the random things on a registry.
That is so important because I was speaking with Amelia Kelly, and she was one of my like favorite peers in this space, and I just respect the shit out of her. She was talking about when you are in a relationship and it's toxic. Yeah, we lose our autonomy. And I was saying, like, I sometimes say, not only do I have ADHD, I also was in a relationship where I was afraid to say the wrong thing.
Me too.
And I was afraid to answer. Like, so I became just like a yes person and an I don't care person. And I really did care, but it was just easier to be like, do you want this or this? And I would like, whatever you want. Because I'm not sure what the right answer is. So when it came down to like, I was getting to the point where I was panicking about the question, paper or plastic. Not just because I live in California and you're like,
I mean, Lindsay, I agree. I posted this the other day on my Instagram, like, and a lot of what I post comes from my own stories. Like, to be up all night, panicked to like, should we get a bath mat that's blue or it's brown? Because if it's blue, he's going to say this. And if it's brown, he's going to be upset. And then I have to deal the whole day with somebody upset with me. And I was the same way. I was a yes woman. I remember the first time I really said no and my legs were shaking. I was so scared, and it was about something so stupid, but I knew it was something about my kids. And, but yeah, because you almost paralyze yourself, right? To fit into this world so that you can keep the peace, especially when you have kids, right? To make sure that everything is running smoothly in this machine of abuse that's going on there. And you end up, literally almost losing your mind most of the time.
You do. And you have no idea what you like. I'm a 45-year-old woman, and I can't really tell you like how long it took me to understand, like go back to who I was, because I was like devalued and freaking torn apart. All the things that they loved about me, they ended up hating about me. So then I was like, I even looked in my closet. This is what's crazy. I looked in my closet, Olivia, and I was like, who the fuck is this person? I don't know anything about this person. These clothes hanging here mean like, I don't know. And then I look at pictures of myself and I'm like, I don't like, what is that? Who is she? And I'm like, I just need to get rid of everything. Yeah. Not because of like, the feeling and the reminder of it. It's like the identity crisis of like, I don't even know. I look at the things in my house. I'm like, even when I moved, I had the great fortune of a woman and her family helping us. So they bought everything. Like they went to Costco, and like I was like, okay, yes. She's like, what do you need? I'm like, I couldn't answer, right?
Yeah.
And so they helped me. Like we rebuilt the place. And I remember like I bought things that old Lindsay liked. And my daughter at one point was like, this kind of looks like our old house. And I was like, yes, it fucking does. And I was thinking that I was like recreating like
Right.
that home feeling. And what I think I ended up doing was just like masking, or I don't even know what the thing is. And so it's like, I just started putting shit away. And I'm like, we don't need this memory. We don't need anything. And then I like looked at my daughter's room and she had like purple sheets and all this fun. And like before everything was just like white and sterile because it just seemed like the easier choice.
Yep.
Like there's no feelings. There's just like,
it's so
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of like that fresh start, like it being okay. Like learn if you want, learn what you like. If you want fucking fishes on your, like whatever, like just, you have to, you don't know. I think you spent so many years being told what to do, being a guest person, trying to make the other person happy that like, you got to figure out who you are.
I mean, yes. Like when I work with a lot of women and we're writing a book about fresh starts after divorce, and the first activity we do with people always is to just pick your favorite color, find your favorite color again. Right. And that's so hard to do. And I remember sitting down with some watercolors. I used to watercolor. And when he left, I sat down with some watercolors. And this sounds ridiculous, right? So if you haven't been through this, you're going to laugh. But to look at the watercolors and go, oh my God, color exists in the world, right? Like, wow. Like you forget everything is literally beige and white and black and gray. And you forget that like you can have bright pink, right? And like that's why I'm laughing. Your whole studio, right? And like my whole room now is pink, you know, and I've done a lot of writing about pink after divorce. But it's like to bring color back into your world. It literally is like going from, you know, Kansas to Oz, because you just that's the fresh start.
Okay, so looking at color, putting things into your world again that, like, it doesn't sound silly to me, but it sounds inspiring. And someone hopefully is hearing this, like, do all the things, like, wear the things, change the things. Like, if it makes you happy, just do it. Because you don't have, it would be safe to say, like, women that leave any kind of relationship are happier living alone and are, you know, with their kids. And not because we're difficult or like we can't imagine like I've got to ask somebody their opinion. It's just like it's easier to be your best self and like learn yourself again. I think it's very important like to know that you can do it. You can do the hard things. You can make the decisions. It's been within you the whole time, and your kids are watching you. Like yeah. Okay. I love this. So what does it look like? So you started this registry, you're on the Today Show, which is like badass, by the way. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then like, what is the response now after all this time?
So it's been really interesting. It's been 4 years. This is our 4th year just now doing this. And we've changed a lot. Like, you know, we've grown a lot. So one of our big missions is to we have a couple missions, but one is to really shift this narrative of divorce, right? It is not an ending. It is not a failure. It is a fresh start, and we're forward thinking. And also we are probably the only divorce platform that really, we don't talk about like anti-men or your ex or anything like that. We're just all about you and finding your way forward. And so we have seen a big shift. Like we were the first ones to come out and be like, celebrate your divorce rings, divorce parties, divorce showers, registries, all of these things. And so we've seen a shift for sure. We were in New York Magazine. They did a big piece about us and, you know, how like divorce registries are on the rise. My personal mission is to make a divorce registry as essential as a baby registry, right? Or a wedding registry. I always joke, like, I want divorce to become boring, right? Because everything, divorce is so gossipy. It's so like, you know, all the things. But The other really cool thing is that we're really committed to free and accessible divorce education. And we come at this from an angle, we're not lawyers, right? My sister and I were both teachers. And so we really like to come at this from an angle of, I went through this myself. My whole family is divorced, my parents and all of my grandparents. I thought this would be a breeze for me. I was like, okay, we get divorced, it was so traumatizing and so traumatizing. I'm still 6 years out, you have moments of trauma from it. And so my goal is to provide education nonstop for, women and men, but a lot of women who are going through divorce. So we have 3 free ebooks. We're building out a divorce dictionary that's completely free. You can come just search a legal term and you can find what it means, how to use it. We do scripts for everything, how to tell your kid's teacher you're getting divorced. And then it's always free to build a registry. It's always free to access our resources. Our ebooks are free. And we really think about the people who are using our platform. So that's something that's really, really important to us. So for example, we don't collect user data. We never want to know where people are coming from, who you are, because we want you to feel safe coming to the website. We don't want you to feel like you have to give us your information to get anything from us. Our free ebooks, you can just download the PDF. We don't collect your email address. We don't ask for a credit card. And then I offer completely free one-on-one consults with people. It's 15 minutes on Zoom. I hear what's going on in your life. And then I connect you to the other side of our company, which is our experts. So we have about 150 divorce professionals. We are the premier divorce support network. And all of our experts have to sign a waiver when they sign on that says that they are shame-free, inclusive, and non-judgmental, because we don't want them if they're not going to be good people. And so the way that we make money, and I'm always transparent about this, is that we basically we used to do social media marketing for global companies and TV shows and movies. That's what I did primarily and thank God, because that's what helped pay for me to get out of my marriage. So we basically brought that into a membership level. So for our experts, you can sign up for $25 a month and get referrals and networking and some great stuff, or $55 a month and you get business coaching, you get PR and media opportunities, referrals, obviously networking, and a ton of marketing support and everything like that. So we make money from our experts, and so it allows us to not have to charge anybody going through anything, life transition wise.
That is so amazing. I love that so much. What you are a full support service, which is honest and true support.
Yeah, honest and true. Yeah.
So cool.
Thank you. No, we're so proud of it. There's nobody else doing what we do. And the amount of support that we give to people, I literally talk to women. I have one just in a couple minutes. I talk to at least on Zoom 4 to 5 women a day. And then I'm constantly getting messages. I'm sure you are too, Lindsay, and messages and emails, from people looking for support. And so it is my absolute, the pleasure of my life to be able to talk to a woman and to watch her face, right, shift from fear, absolute fear and terror when she signs on Zoom with me to, I had a woman the other day who was full on sobbing because she could not believe the amount of support that we were providing for her for no money. And, most of our experts have free consultations. A lot of our experts, because they've signed on, offer pro bono services or really, really discounted rates, super discounted rates for people, because I don't think people realize, and I talk to hundreds of women in all situations across the world. Nobody has money. Nobody has money to pay for this stuff.
No.
And so,
oh my God. No. And if you if you do have money, they're hiding it from you. They don't want you to have it.
No. And so we get really angry, I would say, my sister and I, when we see there's a lot there's some great divorce platforms. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of divorce professionals and platforms that are a little bit, they like to see how they can make money. And we are really committed to making sure that if you are going through a divorce, we are here. We're your big sisters. You do not have to spend a dime to get the resources, and you're safe with us. I love what I do. I mean, I would, even if I won the lottery, I would continue doing this every single day. So,
oh my God, I've said the same thing. I hope to God I win the lottery, but I just let's win the lottery together. Yeah. I love what I do. the entire goal of the show was, it has like evolved a little bit, but like the ethos is like, I want to teach women the things I wish I had known because I did it all fucking wrong.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe I did it right in the way that it led me to this place. But it's like when you're leaving trauma, especially when you're leaving DV, if you're like fleeing, you know, you're like, your life is different. Your life is like upended so fast, and you're having to make decisions in a trauma, in a trauma response. And so you're not going to make good decisions. You have like, I found my lawyer on Google, and I'm not super internet savvy, or I'm better now, but was like, I Googled it. They came up first. So I assumed like they must be the best. And I didn't know you could buy that spot. And then I'm like driving around town. I'm like, I'm seeing all these fucking billboards. I'm like,
right, exactly.
And I just like, I didn't have the money. I had no business with this person, this attorney, because I didn't really have the money for the marketing side that they had going on.
Right.
I needed somebody who understood what I was fucking going through. And I needed to be like talking to you, because being able to say to somebody right now, hey, look, go see these women. They're badasses and they're going to understand you. There's going to be no shame. You're not even really, I would imagine, have to explain anything.
No, and I connect people directly myself. So like if you came to me, it really, this is what I say, like we are doing something nobody else is doing. And if you're listening to this, you can go to my Instagram. The link is in my bio. It's Olivia Howell, and you can sign up. There's always slots open. You know, you would come on, Lindsay. I would say, okay, Lindsay, like, and I go through my whole spiel. I am a certified divorce and life coach because I did that on purpose. I don't divorce coach, but I wanted to make sure I understood that world. So I have a very high standard for ethics and confidentiality. And as somebody that went through a traumatic divorce, I understand. So I go through my whole spiel. I show them my notebook that I'm going to write in because I understand how scary it is. Like, you don't want to reach out for help because you're afraid somebody's going to say something to somebody. And so we take an incredibly trauma-informed approach to every single aspect of what we do. I'm happy to see them. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, how are you? Right? This is not a sad moment. This is like an exciting, we're going to get your hype team together. We're going to build your superhero, team of people. And then I listen, and honestly, there's so many traumatic stories. There's so much abuse out there that is, I won't even get into it, but you know the stories, Lindsay. It's like horrible, including children and pets. And then I'll say to them, okay, do you need a mortgage person? Do you need, a somatic, body person? Do you need a healer? Do you need I love divorce coaches. Like, I try to always have somebody match up with a divorce coach because that takes a lot of the stress away. We have lawyers, obviously, therapists. And then I match people based on vibes, right? Because if you're coming to me as a queer mom of a dog, you're not going to necessarily need a divorce coach who is like a suburban mom with kids. That's not going to be the right match for you. And so the beautiful part of working with our experts so closely is I get to know them, and then I can match them really well with the people who come to me. So the ROI for working together is incredibly high, higher than other divorce platforms, because I'm matching people based on personalities, not just on like data. Yeah. And so then what I do is I literally spend hours every night emailing. I'll email, hey, Lindsay, this is Marty. She's the mediator. This is the link to book with her. It's a free 30-minute call. And Marty's on the email, and then they follow up. And so I have ADD too. I'm trying to make this as easy for people. Yeah. It's so confusing, right? Like, we're actually working on this series now called the Survival Series, because what do you do in those moments, right? Oh my God, I went to go take cash from the ATM and he drained the ATM. I have no money to buy the diapers. This is a thing that happens. We asked all of our experts, like, what can people do? And we're launching all these different scenarios. So you can go to our Instagram if this happens to you and be like, they talked about this, right? Like, we have an answer for this. And so, yeah, I love connecting with women. I send them a bunch of our experts have free Facebook groups, and we have tons of freebies. I mean, we truly have the best experts. If you're listening and you are a divorce professional, come on board. Anybody listening to this podcast, I know we would love to have you. Yes. And you never know what you're going to need. Like we have a wonderful professional. She's a teen leadership coach, and she's been with us a long time. And somebody the other day called me, and she's like, my ex-husband wants to take my kid out of private school, but that's where he's thriving. She's like, do you have like a teen leadership coach? And I'm like, we do, actually. Right. So it's like, you never know what kind of expert you're going to need going through this stuff. Career coaches, resume coaches, sex help, coaches, like all of these things. And it's just, we've built this ecosystem, and I truly think like I know we're changing the world with this, but to see these women reach out, and you can see by the end of the call, they're like, oh, I'm going to get through this. Like, I'm going to be okay. It's just wild. Like it's magic to me, and I love it.
That is so, and I just like, I'm in awe. I'm like, I want to call you when we get off the phone. I'm going to book a call with you. Like,
yes, anytime, Lindsay.
But it's like, you don't know what you don't know. And you said things like somatic healing. You said like, I didn't know what the hell that was until I started this podcast. I didn't know that was something. And when you're going through it, it's like, this is again, the biggest transition of your life, especially if there's kids involved. Everything has changed. And we carry around this like scarlet letter of like, oh my God, I'm a divorcee. And, it's like, then the kids see the shame. And I love flipping the script. I love the idea that you're like, hey, listen, what I was in was fucking toxic. And now I've changed, I'm breaking generational curses. Like, and trauma. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that you are safe and thriving, and you now can live in this environment. And you are, if you've been a stay-at-home mom, you better understand that you got to figure it out. You're going to have to work again. You're going to but you don't, I love stay at home mom energy too, because like they are entrepreneurs, right? Like I love I have these moms that I know that they're like, I didn't know what I was going to do. And now they're doing like just such cool shit. Like I could go on forever about what they're doing, but it's like, but somebody inspiring you versus your ex who's like, you're worthless, you're nothing, you're just a stay at home mom. Like, and then you're looking at your life going, well, in my old life, I used to do this job, but that doesn't apply anymore or doesn't exist. Like you're aged out or you're teched out. Yeah. And that is scary. So it is going to you, and you can like remove that fear of like, hey, no, this doesn't have to be scary. It sounds like you're like, no, this is like your new life. This is cool.
Yeah. And I always say to them, like, my job with them is to empower them and educate them, right? So that when they do end up going to trial or mediation or whatever they do, they can walk in and understand the language. They can understand that they talk to a mortgage person. I mean, people, a lot of women I talk to don't understand. If you own a house together, you have to have a realtor and a mortgage person on your divorce team, whether you stay in the house or you sell the house. And most people don't realize that. And so, a lot of people will come to me and go, well, we were going to sell the house and I was going to get half the money. And I'm like, it's not that easy and it's not that quick, right? So we need to get other people on board to help you during this process. And like, I always kind of joke that we're like the Sesame Street of like the divorce world. Cause it's like, we come at this from this other angle, and it's like, who are the people in your neighborhood? Well, you have your mortgage lender and you have your realtor and your divorce coach. And like, and that's a beautiful thing to get support. And these people go into these industries because they want to support people, and like that's awesome. So yeah, and I will say too, like I'm seeing a lot of older women, right? They've raised kids. Their kids are now 18, 19, and they're getting divorced, and they're completely lost, right? This was their whole identity. A lot of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, right? Financial abuse. And they literally are 65 years old, right? They have no idea who they are. They don't know how to call a lawyer. They don't have money for a retainer. And, so being able to say to them, okay, well, we have a lot of free resources and you can start empowering yourself and learn the language and all of these things. It wasn't around before. And I'm just really proud that like I could turn my moment of trauma into something that's helping other people.
Your pain into purpose, which turns that purpose into power for someone else. And I think that is so badass. And it sounds like too, like going with you, using your resources is going to save a lot of money for someone as well. Because again, I didn't realize this because I had never experienced, I was using my lawyer as like my therapist.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that I was, but I was like firing off like, you have no idea what he fucking did this weekend. Da, 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 da. Right. And then I'm like, oh, here's the bill for that $200 email or like, because I didn't know that something like yours existed. So
Well,
you're
divorce
saving
coaches,
money.
yeah, divorce coaches I recommend because they do save money. And divorce coaches, you really do have to do your research because every divorce coach is completely different in what they, can do really well. So there's some that really help with paperwork, some help with post-divorce recovery, some are more for toxic marriages. So, but what they do ultimately is it's like you invest, yes, you're investing a little bit of money in them, but that's going to be your bridge, right? Between like the legal stuff and the emotional stuff. If you can have a divorce coach help you write your emails to your ex-husband, or they can help you write the emails to your lawyer, that's going to help, right? If your lawyer gets just a nice email with questions from you, they're going to like that a lot better, they're going to answer a lot quicker, it's going to cost you a lot less money, right? So yes, overall it's going to cost people a lot less, and they'll feel much more empowered doing it.
I love it. Okay, so if you could give our besties one tool to put in their toolkit, what would it be?
So we have 3 free ebooks. So I'm going to recommend, they're all very different. So really quick, the first one is 250 questions to ask divorce professionals before you hire them, right? Because you don't even know what to ask. And so one of the big things that we are really passionate about is like, what do you even say when you call? This is from my ADHD. So we have scripts for everything. We're all about scripts. And then our second book is literally called What to Consider When You're Considering Divorce, right? So this is for the people that might be considering divorce and thinking like, what would we do with the house? What would I do about my job? But the book that I'm most proud of, I think, is called How to Get Divorced as a Stay-at-Home Parent. And this book literally takes you through how to call your local government and say, what are the services that you have? And we literally tell you how to pronounce these terms, because I'm using myself as an example. I wouldn't call because I wouldn't know how to say pro se. Is it pro si? Is it pro sa? I don't know, right? Like you wouldn't know what to say, and then you just wouldn't call. And it takes you through how to write a resume using your transferable skills, and then also has tons of scripts on how to actually talk to your partner about wanting the divorce, what to say when they respond, what do you say to your parents when they're like, but you don't have a job, how do you talk to your kids? So it is an incredibly comprehensive book, 150 pages, completely free. You can just go download it, and it's also available on Amazon for under $12 if anybody wants it. And I will add, this is how trauma informed wild we are, that we actually have inside the actual print books, which are I think $11.97. The back does not say the word divorce, and the front, if you want to email us your address, we will send you a sticker of a fake title that you can put on the front of the book.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I fucking love you. That is the best ever. Look at you. You're such a baddie. That is amazing.
Well,
That's exactly what they need.
Yeah, because I think about these, women who are hiding, right?
Yes.
Like I've had women on calls with me who are literally hiding in their house talking to me. I've had women where their husbands are following them around the house. Like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, just work, I'm just a work friend, right? Whatever.
Yes.
And unless you've been through DV, like you don't get like how scary it is. And it isn't you, right, Lindsay? It's like, it's that trauma you. And so we just want to be there for anybody that needs it. But I never want anybody to not seek a divorce because they don't feel safe. And so what our job is to be those teachers and say, here's all the support, but you're safe here. Like, we won't give your email addresses to companies. We actually went down the investor route for like a hot second, and we were like, we're not doing this because we're not selling out our people. Like, these are like, we hold this tight. Like, and so, yeah, we just go download the books. But I will say the one book that changed my life before we go is, I think it's called The Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist's Playbook. I have to check on the name. But if you Google covert passive aggressive book, there's only one. And she's amazing. I can't remember her name. My brain. But I literally bought it. I read the whole thing, and then I was like flat on my back for like 3 days, like processing the entire thing. So if you have that passive aggressive emotional abuser, or I like to call the modulated abuser.
Oh, that's a new term, besties.
Yes, exactly. They're so calm. They just cut you down without even raising their voice. Are you really eating that cake again? Because you look like you gained some weight. And it's like,
God.
oh my God. That book is amazing too. But yeah, and definitely give me a follow, and and always like message me. Like I have people all the time that are like, can you cover this topic? Can you cover this topic? So, but I appreciate you, Lindsay, and all the work that you do. And thank you for just, this platform.
Oh my God. Well, welcome to the Bestie Gang. I am so incredibly and grateful that you're here and that I'm in awe of what you're doing to support everyone around you. So cool. I know we have to jump because you have besties on the call who's waiting for you, but I would like to invite you to my club, which is the BFF club. So Bitches Fighting for Freedom. There's no fees. There's no whatever, but just if you'd like to join, we'd love to welcome you.
I would love that. I'm there. Thank you.
Okay. We've got a new BFF. Where can we find you?
Yeah, the easiest place is freshstartsregistry.com. We're also Fresh Starts Registry on Instagram, and I'm just Olivia Howell on Instagram. So you can always come shoot me a message. My sister's name is Genevieve, so it's a little bit longer and harder to say. She's Genevieve Dreisen. But you can find us at Fresh Starts Registry, or you can just Google Fresh Starts with Olivia, and it will come up. And I respond to every single DM, so feel free to send me a DM day or night.
I love it. I love you. Thank you. I'm going to have you back
thanks,
on.
Lindsay. Absolutely.
I'm so incredibly honored to know you. I'm proud of your work. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bitch is a Bad Word.
Thank you.
I am so loving Olivia Howell. She is our new bestie. She's joined the Bestie Gang. We are incredibly grateful to her. Do reach out. We'll put all of her information in the show notes. And she is the CEO of Fresh Start Registry. You can find her on Instagram at Olivia Howell. I would love to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on a divorce registry? Please definitely send me a DM. I want to know what you think about this episode. I think this is just such a fresh approach, and we really just need to like mix things up in this space. And she's doing it. She's an absolute baddie. I love her. Remember, if this is something, that resonates with you, if you are inspired by this show, please do like, share, subscribe, review on any platform that you're listening to. Bitch is a Bad Word. You can join us on Patreon. We have an amazing community of baddies growing over there. Patreon.com/Bitch is a Bad Word. There's free tiers. There's paid tiers. There's just a really amazing community of women that I'm seeing that are just didn't know each other before they joined, and they're really rebuilding their network. I always say this, there is no safety in staying silent. If you are in immediate danger, please use 911, crash on a friend's couch, do whatever you have to do to get yourself safe. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is there for you at 1-800-799-START, 1-800-799-START. You can reach out at thehotline.org. They have besties standing by. They've got your back 24/7, completely anonymous. They're any questions you have, they're there for you. And I'm so incredibly grateful to to our besties. And I love this show. I love doing this show. I love hearing from you. So please reach out on Instagram if there's a topic you'd like me to cover. Send me a message at Bitch is a Bad Word Pod. You can find us on TikTok and YouTube at Bitch is a Bad Word. Our phone number is 331-BITCHES. Our email is biabw@caliber-studio.com. I would love for you to send me your texties from your exties. We'll read them on the show anonymously, of course. You can shop our merch. Bestie stuff is available soon. Join the MILF Mafia. And we do donate proceeds from the MILF Mafia to a 501c3 charity so that women can get assistance and, legal assistance, hopefully anything that they need. But sounds like you've got a really great opportunity at the Fresh Start Registry to get help as well. So thank you again for joining us. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and our bitch sessions on Thursday. So we will see you next Tuesday, besties. Bye. Our editor is Kevin Mackler. Our music was composed by Drew Kevorkian. Our art design was created by Eric Johnson and Kevin Roche. Our interns are badasses. Our Patreon is managed and run by Kay. And this has been a Caliber Studio production. Bitches being bad.